They produced the show Young Rock on NBC. Right next to the building is Jordan Field production company, Monkey Paw Productions. They made movies Get Out, Us, Nope, and Candyman. For my musical theater fans, we are right next to Mark Flat Productions, off to your left right now. If you look down, you'll see a Wicked glow back there. That's because they are working on the 2 film adaptations of Wicked, which will star Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. We've also got Amy Pascal pictures over there. They made the recent Spider-Man film. And on your right side, we are by the Bud Westmore building. Bud Westmore was a famous makeup designer. But inside that building is our metal shop and our sign shop. So a lot of our sets are built right inside of that building over there by our talented craft people and brought on down to our back lot. We're going to see some of their handiwork in just a moment. Now the buildings off to your left used to be dressing rooms and offices for big stars like Clint Eastwood and Janet Leigh. Back then, stars were contracted out to movie studios. So those people are examples of universal contract players. So to make them more comfortable, we provided them with these buildings that they can call home while they're contracted out to us. Now, coming up on your left, we're passing by bungalow 5195. You're going to see a familiar silhouette on the outside. That's because it used to belong to the master of suspense himself, Mr. Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock was a British filmmaker who moved to America in the 1940s and made his first 2 American films with us here at Universal Studios, Saboteur and Shadow of a Doubt. He is known as one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. He was also known for making cameo appearances in all of his movies. I'll show you a few examples right here.
Good evening. My name is Alfred Hitchcock. We ought to do a little match sometime. You should have seen the blood.
And here are some celebrated Universal filmmakers with a little bit more on Alfred Hitchcock.
Lou said you can move into that office. I said, no, I can never be in Hitchcock's office. That should be a shrine, a museum.
Very excited just to know when he was there and walk by and know he was in that office. Hitchcock is influenced everywhere. I saw Hitchcock once walking around the commissary.
Hitchcock had his bungalow on the lot. I used to go see Alfred Hitchcock.
I loved working with him. I highly respect him. He really understood fear and terror. That was a really scary movie.
Word? Oh, man. That had me looking at crows like for the next 10 years.
Psycho, of course. Vertigo. Well, they all find great masterpieces. Hitchcock was master.
Yes, Alfred Hitchcock was a genius. So on your right side, we are right by the Johnny Carson building. Johnny Carson was one of the most famous hosts of The Tonight Show. That building is where a lot more casting work happens. And on your left, we are by 2 of our newer sound stages, stages 25 and 26.
Hello,
26
guys.
Where they filmed the NBC show American Auto, which starred SNL's Anna Gasteyer. It was created by Justin Spitzer, who also made Superstore and wrote on The Office. And stage 25 is where they filmed the show Lopez vs. Lopez, which stars George Lopez and his daughter Mayan Lopez. They also play father and daughter on the show. That show filmed in front of a live studio audience, which means every Friday, Universal brings in a fresh new audience. And those windows you see on the front of the building are offices for all of the departments on the show. That way folks, like for example the writers, can jump right on over to set and write new jokes as the show films. Now the first production to use those new stages was NBC's Hairspray Live. Keenan also filmed there. And Will and Grace filmed all of its revival seasons right over there.
Ordinary tourist from the Midwest. Oh, me too. What part? Mission. Soda, Wisconsin. Oh, with the fighting Caucasians.
Alright, we got a bit of train traffic ahead of us, so while we're chilling here, I'm going to show you a couple of times that our Universal Tram was featured in a couple of movies and TV shows. talked about the 3 phases of production: pre-production, production, and post-production. Now on the front line, we can do all of those stages. Production is what happens on set, and post-production is everything after, things like editing and sound design, scoring as well. Now, right now we are approaching our back lot. Our back lot is where we are going to spend the rest of our tour. It's where we have all of our permanent, large-scale outdoor sets. Now, off to your left, you're going to catch a glimpse of our metro sets. Our metro sets take up about 4 acres of our lot and are meant to stand in for any major city. Right now, there's a Walmart commercial filming down there. That's just some of these folks that you see driving around the lot and these cars parked or for. Now, this building might look like it's made out of brick. It's actually made out of simple materials like plastic, plaster, and plywood. That way it's less expensive and easier to change depending on a filmmaker's needs. All of our metro set buildings are built with forced perspective. The windows get smaller and smaller as you get towards the top of the building. That way it fools the eye into thinking the buildings are a bit taller than they really are. They stand about 50 feet tall though. They were recently redone with the help of filmmaker Steven Spielberg to make them a little more HD friendly. Now, lots of movies make use of our metro set streets because it's much easier to film here than in a real city. In a real city, you've got to deal with residents and permits, but out here, the world is your oyster. So often, filmmakers will come here to film big stunt sequences. For example, The Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham, turn this area into London for a high-speed car chase.
Sounded like droids.
The Blues Brothers was also mainly set in Chicago, but they came out here to film one particular stunt. Give you a look at that. Now, off to the left, we're going to better look at our metro sets. But we are leaving the city behind. One of the most famous movie characters to set foot in New York was a giant ape named King Kong. But before he got to New York, he was at a place called Skull Island. A very dangerous place. And guess what? That's where we're going to take you all next.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up into the edge. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong. He's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature with Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are the window into his personality and his heart. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his foes, the T-Rexes and the various dinosaurs on Skull Island. So he's been beaten up, scarred, chewed up, spat out by these dinosaurs at various times, and he wears the scars of a lot of ancient battles.
All right, everybody, we're about to do a meet and greet with King Kong. Just a friendly reminder to please remain seated. Please keep a tight grip on those loose articles, and know that it's time to go on the inside. anyone get dinosaur slobber on them? Raise your hands. That's actually very serious. But as long as you got your shots working on the ride, you should be totally fine. Now, you all experienced one of the most intense 3D attractions in the entire world. King Kong 360 3D is projected on some of the world's largest 3D screens. They're 40 feet tall and 180 feet long. And that whole show was designed by Peter Jackson's team at Random FX. They are an amazing visual effects company with now 7 close which they further run on Avatar, The Way of Water.
Project Studio Tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. We always know the shot that we're working on. Here you have we're looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Yeah, our hats off to the designers of King Kong 360 3D. Now I'm going to show you all some picture cars. Now what's a picture car? A picture car is any vehicle that appears in a movie or TV show. If you're a fan of cars, I'm going to get those phones and cameras out. On your left, we'll pass by a few very cool ones. We're passing by some cars from the live-action Flintstones movie made out of foam rubber and fiberglass. One of these 17.5 Ford Anglia used for Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. From Jurassic vehicles by Jordan Peele fans, we're going to pass by 2 vehicles from his films. The Fry's Electronics band, Nope, and the Crawdaddy from us. And this tank that we're passing by is made out of plywood, believe it or not. It is just painted to look like metal. That way it's lighter and easier to carry around. Now, one of the highest grossing franchises that Universal Studios has ever produced is the Jurassic Park series. Coming up on your right, we're going to pass by a Jeep from Jurassic World, which came out in 2015. The Jeep's got a 29 on the side because it's meant to be John Hammond's Jeep from the original Jurassic Park movie, which came out in 1993, 30 years ago, believe it or not. Speaking of John Hammond, he's got a message for you all. Take it away, John.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Thank you. No one does it quite like him. We are passing by some props and picture cars from the original Jurassic Park trilogy, including on your left, the Mobile Lab, The Lost World Jurassic Park, starring Julianne Moore, Vince Vaughn, and Jeff Goldblum. Now, this is a little weird. Normally, these cages here have dinosaurs in them, but I don't see any dinosaurs in the cages, so they must have escaped. So keep an eye out for them. They could be anywhere. I'm going to show you a scene from The Lost World Jurassic Park that features the mobile lab that we just drove by. Now this might look like the side of a cliff, but this scene was actually filmed off the side of one of our parking structures right here on the lot.
Don't move!
In order to turn the parking structure into the side of a cliff, our greens team covered it in real and artificial plants. Those are the same folks who made a couple of the trees that you see off to your left side. They're meant to be replicas of trees from the Jurassic period. Man, it is a very hot and sunny day. We could use a little quick rainstorm, am I right? Well, guess what? Because we are about to show you just how we create our own weather here in Hollywood. We're going to do a very special weather demonstration for you all off of the left side of the screen here in a parking lot that we call Old Mexico. Now, we are still kind of figuring out this whole rain effect thing, so forgive us. Alright, let's get that rain on. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Now the way we accomplish this rain is very simple. We are shooting water straight up through the air through the sprinkler. That way it falls down at the speed of gravity. And the secret to making rain show up on screen is backlighting it, lighting it from behind. That way it stands out from the background. Alright guys, we can shut that rain off now. I think they get the point. Alright. Turn it off. What? Alright, the guys in the blue said if you're in a blue seat, you might get wet. That was a close one. Congratulations, everybody. You just survived our flash flood. It's been a part of our tour since 1968. Right now, all of those thousands of gallons of water are being recycled and pumped back up to the top of the hill to come down to the next dam. The flash flood was featured in a film called Back Line, starring Paul Giamatti and
You can't outrun the wolf, kid!
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Hang on, buddy, wolf!
But as you can see, we have time travel back to the Old West. On your left, we're passing by a saloon that Quentin Tarantino used for a few scenes in his movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Welcome to 6 Points, everybody. Now, the reason why we call this area of our lot 6 Points is because it used to be made up of 6 distinct western streets, each with its own hotel, its own saloon, its own sheriff's station. That way, back in the silent film era, we could film 6 westerns here all at the same time. In fact, in 1914, our first year of operation as a studio, we filmed over 200 western films all around here. Now, many of these buildings are what we in Hollywood call facades. Facades mean they're just the front and sides of a building. That saloon is an exception. The saloon is what we call a practical set, which means you can film both inside and outside, which is exactly what Quentin Tarantino did. Now, as we leave 6 Points, the last building on your left will be a great example of a facade. And I'm going to show you a few Western legends who have walked these streets over the years. Now, if you're a fan of The Voice on NBC, they filmed that show right on Soundstage 30 over there to your left. Stages 31 and 33 are favorites of horror master Jordan Peele. He filmed the ending of Us, starring Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke inside of stage 31. And he filmed the beginning of Nope, starring Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer in stage 33. There's also a scene from Nope that takes place on the street on a studio lot, and guess what? They filmed that scene right here on the street we're driving along right now. But speaking of horror movies, back in the 1920s to the 1950s, Universal was known as the monster movie studio.
Flathead. It's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was one of the essence of the universe. That's what I Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy. It was scary.
Still
Right now, we're driving through Middle Europe. Middle Europe is in any small European town. This is where a lot of our classic monster movies filmed. This became Wales, starring Lon Chaney Jr. It was Egypt for The Mummy, starring Boris Karloff. But more recently, we turned this area into the afterlife for the NBC sitcom The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell.
you, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Little Europe was also Genovia in Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement. It was The Fairy Tale Kingdom in Cinderella, starring Whitney Houston and Brandy, Tortuga in Pirates of the Caribbean. And way back in 1923, it was Paris for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, 100 years ago. That movie starred Lon Chaney. He was one of our original Universal monsters. He also played the Phantom of the Opera in 1925. He was known as the Man of 1,000 Faces because he did his own makeup design. But he was so secretive about his process that not even his own son, Lon Chaney Jr., knew how he did it. Now, back in the 20s and 50s, Universal helped establish what an American horror film was, and to this day, we are still releasing some amazing, terrifying horror films. Now, while we're sitting here, this is a good time for me to let you know that we are about halfway through our tour. So I just want to remind everyone to stay seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property, and if you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, hold the red cord to get my attention. I'll be back to assist you, but do remain seated on the train. Now, oftentimes, one of the best parts of a horror movie is the music. The music can really, really set the mood. You know, it can really create an atmosphere of foreboding, of suspense. Now, one of the best film composers of all time was a man named John Williams. John Williams did the music for Star Wars, Superman. He also did the theme music for Jaws. You know, dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh yeah, that. Uh-oh. All right, everybody stay calm, but I do see a shark in the water. At least no one's swimming out there. Okay, I'm really sorry you all had to see that. We're gonna pull ahead a little bit. Keep an eye on that yellow barrel out in the water. There's bait attached to it. Hopefully the shark takes the bait, and hopefully we're safe back here behind this big, some kind of gas station, I think. Oh no, it was the gas station. Congratulations, everybody. You just survived a shark attack from the most famous movie shark of all time, Jaws. Anyone know what kind of shark Jaws was? Great white? That's so close. No, it's a mechanical shark. But while our mechanical shark works very well today, the mechanical sharks on the set of Jaws did not work very well. Take a look.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrated. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. And we're always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark worked well enough. For a while there, it had to be so I really owe the shark a lot.
the reason why those mechanical sharks didn't work very well is because they were designed and tested in freshwater. But Steven Spielberg wanted authenticity, so he filmed Jaws off the coast of Martha's Vineyard, and when those mechanical sharks were brought into the salt water of the ocean, they sank right to the bottom. As a result, Jaws was delayed 100 days. It missed its scheduled release date of Christmas 1974 because Jaws, perfect Christmas movie, right? Instead, it came out the summer of 1975 and accidentally became the first ever summer blockbuster of all time. It's called a blockbuster because there are lines all around the block to see Jaws that summer. Now, on your right, we are passing by a house that we call the Chicken Ranch. The Chicken Ranch was built for the 1982 Dolly Parton film, the best little whorehouse in Texas. We've reused it a few more times since then. You can take a look right here. Was used for both the original Quantum Leap, starring Scott Bakula, and also our revival starring Raymond Lee, which was on October 4th. Now we've got about 10 minutes left in the tour, and we'll be returning to the theme park shortly. Remember to pull that emergency cord if you need any assistance and remain seated at all times. Right now, we are making our way up Wilderness Road. Wilderness Road gets its name because it's very easy to make this area seem like the middle of nowhere, which is very convenient for people filming on our lot. The movie Bird Box, starring Sandra Bullock, filmed a few scenes around here. We also have the show 911 on Fox, starring Angela Bassett, filmed around here as well. Now, it looks like we've got a few more picture cars to show off for you. Coming up on the right side of the tram, that police car right there is a Decepticon from the Transformers film. And we've got a couple of cars here from the Fast and Furious film franchise. Now, in case anyone is feeling a little tired, need a break, maybe need a shower, we've got a great motel for you coming up on the right. This is the Bates Motel out of Hitchcock's 1960 classic Psycho. Looks like something's going on in front of the hotel. You have to come back here at night during Halloween Horror Nights to see what that's all about. Now we're going to pass closer by the Psycho house on your left side. Make sure you look up in that second story window as we pass by. You might see Norman's mother in a rocking chair. Only two sides of the house were built for the original Psycho. The rest of the house was completed for Psycho 2. This is a set from Steven Spielberg's 2005 Paramount film, War of the Worlds, which starred Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. This is the plane crash set. This is a replica of a real New Jersey neighborhood, and believe it or not, that is a real Boeing 747 that you see off to your left side of the tram. It's a retired aircraft, and flew in the 70s and 80s. If you look closely, you can see some ashtrays in those armrests. The filmmakers purchased it from the airplane graveyard up in the Mojave Desert. They got it for $60,000, which is kind of a steal, but it cost them $200,000 to get it here, which just goes to show they always get you on shipping. Now, this scene might look like utter chaos, but it's actually organized chaos. It's the job of someone on set called a production designer to bring all this to life. They bring a director's vision to life. And the production designer on War of the Worlds was a man named Rick Carter.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Listen to me. Listen, now, listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Got them closed? let me get in. Get in.
Speaking of aliens, we're going to take you to a brand new set on our lot. It's from Jordan Peele's 2022 film Nope. Nope is partially set at a Southern California amusement park on Jupiter's Claim that has a brand new attraction called the Star Lasso Experience that involves a UFO. For more on this, here's Oscar winner Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well. Have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso Experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. So live and anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy is a gold rush frontier town, lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of No.
Alright, things are getting a little too creepy, so we're gonna make like Jordan Peele and Get Out. Anything bad happens to us. Now, I've got a feeling things might get a little fast and furious on this next part of our tour. Just a friendly reminder to please remain seated. Please keep a tight grip on those loose articles, and no flash photography while we are on the inside. So right now we are pulling into Sullivan Truck Repair. Dom's right over this end of the pass just to come inside of here to lay low. There's an international criminal on Shaw. See a secret witness for this train.
Hit the nitrous!
With this said, we can resume reading.
And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
Very good news for the Fast and Furious. Excuse me, man. You can now stream Fast X, the latest adventure on Peacock. Let's give you greater news. Right now, construction underway for a brand new roller coaster right here at Universal Studios based on the Fast and Furious film franchise. You can find updates about this new experience on our social media and website as they're announced. But sadly, y'all, we have just about reached the end of our tour for today. Thank you so much for joining us on the World Famous Studio Tour. To our pass holders, thank you for being with us today. If you're not a pass holder, head to the Universal box office to see if you can upgrade today's ticket to an annual pass so you can come back again and again. And make sure you download the Universal Studios Hollywood see showtimes from our world. Check wait times for rides and attractions and get details from visiting Super Nintendo World. To purchase the NBC Universal movies and TV shows you've seen on the tour, visit UEHE.com or ask today at one of our retail stores. Now before we disembark, everyone please give it up once again for our driver Tommy for keeping us safe this whole time. Yeah. Now please remain seated until the studio's ambassadors lift those feet and let you know it is safe to exit. You're going to exit towards the back of the tram. Make sure you watch your step and watch your head on the way down.